Men, do not get married until you're 35. I think me chewing gum while I'm recording might be kind of rude. I have a son, and I do not want him getting married until he's at least 35. I'm not 35 yet, but I'm noticing something. I'm noticing something in him, and I've been noticing things in myself. You hear a lot of the time, men mature slower than women. Women mature faster than men do. I like that statement, and I agree with that statement, even more so now that I'm in my mid-30s. But I'll say it a little bit differently. I think men mature on more of a curve. I think from the time we are 13, 14, begin to hit puberty, and our voice cracks. It's a lot of things that happen with us, and it's all gradual. So back to my initial statement, do not get married until you are at least 35. That's because I feel that our maturation process as men is very gradual and reaches a peak at which it is probably healthy to make a choice to get married to a woman, begin to try to provide for a family, and be a father. You see, as a man, if you're doing what you should do, and yes, this is the reasonable dose, there are shoulds and shouldn'ts. There is right and there is wrong. A man's voice begins to crack, then he slowly gets hair in places, and that's physical. Okay. His muscle structure gets bigger, and that takes a while. You look at a 13-year-old boy, and him when he's a man, it looks very different. And if you have pictures every 5 years, it looks different. Not weight fluctuation stuff, like, oh, he's skinny, then he got fatter. I mean, just muscular jawline, his hair, it may recede, whatever. There's lots of things, but that's physical. Mentally, there's something different in us. I can't tell you how quick I was to want to fight someone when I was younger. I mean, I was angry. My testosterone levels, I was just more volatile. I was rude. I was alpha. I wanted to fight. I wanted things to take my aggression out on. I wrestled more. There's so many things I did when I was younger. And I'm not saying that I was my most ambitious, but there was something that I was always trying to get done. And if you're a man and you've got your head down, kind of like this, and you're focused on, let's say you're going to go to college to get your degree in electrical engineering. No, civil engineering. It's cooler. And it's not cooler, but civil engineering. So you can start to build bridges. All right, you're 17 years old, 18 years old, you graduate high school. It takes you 4 years to get your bachelor's in civil engineering. You realize that the industry really likes master's degrees, so you go back for your 2 years. So 18 to 22, that's your bachelor's. Then to 24, you've got your master's. Then you've got to find a gig. So you find a gig, but you're from New York. Nah, scratch that. You're from Kansas. And there's a lot of building going on in New York. So you go to New York, cooler city anyway. Man, I love Hell's Kitchen. So you go to New York so you can build stuff. Do that for a couple years. 26. You're making good money, but you're living with roommates and you're thinking about the next stages of your life. You're 26. But you got your head down and you're thinking maybe you'll start your own firm, but you got to make some contacts. There's a few things you got to do. You got your head down and you're focused very much on school and career. That's it, and you're about 27. You haven't even gotten a chance to learn yourself yet. You've done nothing but focus on how you're going to make money and set yourself up for life. And the only thing you're going to do is, if you marry in your 20s, is you're going to take a woman along on this sordid, up and down roller coaster path. If she was with you back in Kansas, where you're from, she maybe would have had to leave and come with you. Or worse, you guys would be in a long distance relationship. That's tough. And those are your young years. But you're focused, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to carve out a career for yourself, make a little bit of money. These are the things you want to do. It's tough. Do not take a woman along or a family along on that ride. I had my kids young. That was a really tough ride for them, as I had my head down, focused on career, earning potential, and growth. Being with a woman that will only give you something else to focus on, something to divide your focus, which may not be bad for her. And it may not be bad, maybe possibly for your family, but it will most certainly be bad for you. And as far as she's concerned, there's always things competing for your time, your school, your work, your goals. And then you'll ultimately be at these very, very important crossroads. I've got this job, but do I take it because I'd be leaving this behind? Thinking about your relationship. Very, very tough set of circumstances to deal with. Very tough set of circumstances to consider. And I feel like you just shouldn't bring that upon yourself. So back to our scenario, you're 27 years old, civil engineer in New York. You feel like, if you take this other gig, you met a guy, maybe in the next year, you'll be making, a third more of what you're making now. That might get you out to Queens. You might be able to live somewhere else. I don't know New York like that. I don't know if Queens is even better than New York. Or maybe you'll be able to get an apartment in New York by yourself. You don't need roommates. You start thinking about the money. So maybe somewhere around 30, you're finally sort of doing it on your own and you're able to support yourself. And support yourself well. Going out, having a good time, hanging out, meeting people, all this. With a free mind, clear head. I think that's amazing. And it wouldn't be fair to leverage a marriage on that type of life. It wouldn't be fair to bring a woman along on that journey of confusion and trying to get it all figured out. And what if you want to be a plumber? This is an example that I use a lot because I think that's attainable for everyone. Not because it's some sort of lesser field. I used to do plumbing work and decks and roofs and kitchen installations and tile floors and things like that with my father a lot. I think it's admirable, it's dutiful, it's character building blue collar work. The path to being a master plumber is a shorter one. You get your plumbing certificate. I think that's probably what you have to get. You then fast track it if you want to. Get with a master plumber to do some apprenticeship stuff, I think. So you can maybe get your master's plumber certificate so that you can start taking gigs yourself all alone. Say the master plumber, he does night calls because he's an agile guy. He's 50 years old. He knows where the money is, and it's that nighttime work, those emergency calls. So you're 20 years old, you got your plumber certificate, you've been working as an apprentice for a little while, and you want to work with this guy. And man, sky's the limit. It'll be great. You do. Sometimes you get calls at 12, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever it is. You're in a relationship. You're rolling out of bed so you can...
Where are you going? Where are you going? What is it?
I'm trying to build my career.
Well, I don't want you to go. Can we go on a date on Saturday night?
Well, we could, but I'm on call that day.
Well, that's my birthday.
I know let me see if I can get out of it. Call the guy who's agile about his money. You want to get out of it? What do you mean you want to get out of it? I need you. He's got two people. Now you've got two people that need you. She needs you. He needs you. That's paying the bills. She's providing the thrills. That's a tough crossroads to be at. Do you want to be at that crossroads? I say no. I say, if you are a man, do what you need to do to set yourself up. And that's going to take time. It's going to take time figuring out. A lot of trial, a lot of error, a lot of mistakes. You don't need to complicate your life with a relationship, possibly a marriage or even children. You're just trying to get it figured out, and the less moving parts, the better. We don't know how to handle ourselves. I know I didn't. And at the time, I really thought that I did. When I was young and hot-headed, I didn't know I was young and hot-headed. I just thought I was somewhat passionate. Looking back now, like, wow, I was angry. I was aggressive. It was in me. Played a lot of basketball, so I was able to get maybe a lot out on the court, but I just wanted to do stuff, create stuff, jump off stuff, build stuff, take stuff apart, do this, do that, lift this, lift that, push this weight, push that weight, achieve this thing, get this certification. I just wanted to do. And if you're a good guy and that's like you, taking a girl along for that's gonna be tough on her. And maybe she's got her own stuff that she's doing. Maybe the 20s are the time to figure it out. But there are different rules for girls. I'm gonna record that video and let you guys know when that's going public. Actually, I'm gonna record that video and that's gonna be down in the comments below. Men, do not get married until you're 35. I don't really like rules of thumb all the time, but I think this is a good one. Men, do not get married until you're at least 35, because you've got time. You don't have a shot clock like the ladies.